What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Talking in Bits, where we walk you through Bitcoin bit by bit so we can hopefully give you the information you need to get rich. I'm half of the team here. Jose Burgos, one of your hosts, my co-host,
Ben Mercedes.
Hey.
What's up?
Here to give you guys a little bit of knowledge. Good to see you, my good sir.
Good to see you, man.
Hey, how's everything? Good?
Everything is good.
Good week in Bitcoin.
Good week in Bitcoin.
It's
It's
always-
always a good week in Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Yo,
absolutely.
Even when the market's down. When the market's down, it's like, all right, I'm buying more dips.
Yeah.
And it's a good week.
Yeah, explain buying dips, man. I've been trying to talk to people about buying dips, and they kind of think that I'm foolish.
Yeah, so case in point, Bitcoin goes from all-time high of 20 grand to 42 grand.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm still buying at the top. I'm buying all the time. I'm buying every day.
For sure.
Honestly, just to dollar cost average.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you buy weekly or you're just looking for a good opportunity to buy,
Mhm.
Bitcoin scaled all the way back to 30 grand
Okay.
within a day of
Yeah.
42, a day or two. And that was a great time to buy. And then we're still hovering around 35. So even if you bought in at 30 on that big red day, right? I think anything over 10%.
Yeah.
If you see Bitcoin is down 10% red, it's time to buy more.
Jump
20
in,
bucks,
yeah.
100 bucks, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Doesn't even matter.
So the thought process behind buying the dip is basically you get more for your dollar.
Absolutely. But the mantra of sales, right? Like buy low, sell high.
Interesting.
You go to trade in your GameStop game, and what do you get?
Yeah.
Oh, I got $4 for you. And then they resale for 30. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like, what's the profit margin on that?
Yeah, right.
All right.
So that's going to lead great into this conversation because we're going to talk about not only how to get, dollar cost averaging
Yep.
and how to buy a dip, but, you and I both agree that most people are still wondering how the hell do they even buy
Right.
Bitcoin?
I'm getting messages every day.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm ready to go in Bitcoin. What do I do?
So hopefully we can solve this for you
Yep.
guys in this conversation.
Right.
So the concept is stack sats.
Yep.
And what's in your definition, what's stacking sats?
Um,
And why is it important?
yeah. So stacking sats is stacking Satoshis, which are like the cents to the dollar, are the Satoshis to the Bitcoin. In a
Yeah,
sense,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, when
Increments.
just small increments. So what is it? 100 million Satoshis is one Bitcoin.
I believe so.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, just like in the money world with a credit card, you get certain credit cards that basically give you, 2 or 3 points on the back end.
Yep.
Right. And then all of a sudden you're just accumulating, flight points, hotel points, or whatever it is, or just a kickback of a percentage.
Yeah.
So how can we do that with Bitcoin where, how can we just accumulate stats just to have for whatever?
Right.
So there are credit cards rolling out now that have, 2 or 3% back.
Yeah.
There are web browsers. There's like an App Coins kind of app. Coin did it.
A lot of stuff.
So
yeah.
there's just a lot of ways to make your everyday transaction, but stack sats just with your spending.
Right.
Or just with your habits, on your phone.
Yeah. I think the stacking sats is game changing.
Absolutely.
I think when I first got introduced to Bitcoin, it was very hard to understand 0.00012.
It's hard now.
Yeah, it's incredible. So
Yeah.
this time around, I guess the community, I would say,
Yeah.
kind of figured out that it was a better description to say stack sats.
Yeah.
Because not everybody could afford a Bitcoin.
Absolutely.
And then when people think about investing, at least for me, I used to always think like I need a few thousand or I need
Mhm.
something.
Yeah.
So the community came up with stacking sats. You're right. I think it's 100 million Satoshis.
Yep.
And I had a conversation with my buddy because he was thinking, relating them to pennies
Yeah.
to the dollar, right?
Yeah.
I like to see them more as little gold nuggets.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because
Because this is the gold rush.
yeah, exactly. But what he was thinking was okay, how do you make more money? Is it that you have Satoshis and your Satoshis make more Satoshis?
Mm.
And if I'm not mistaken, it doesn't work that way. What it is I have Satoshis and
Mhm.
each one of the values of my Satoshis goes up in price.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's very important for anybody.
Your dollar is deflating.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
Our Bitcoin is growing. You know
It's
what I mean?
growing.
Like
Absolutely.
houses for you are more expensive because
Yeah.
you save in dollars.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So it's good to for a beginner to know stack sats
absolutely.
because it makes it, more realistic to stack sats.
Yeah.
Stack sats. Sorry, y'all.
Stacks.
Yeah, that's one of those tongue twisters. But it makes it that nowadays where you can do it for as little as $1.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're going to talk about today, guys. We want you guys to understand how to stack sats. And also, what I like to consider is gamifying it, right? Like now it's a fun thing. Now you
Yeah.
find clever ways to stack sats, and you can get as little as $1. And we're going to get into ways where you can get it for paying your bills. You can get it for, like you said, from a web browser.
Mhm.
So we're gonna be able to stack sats in different ways, guys. And if you think about this as like, you know, like having a Fitbit and having calories and you making it fun, right? Like I'm gonna go work out and I'm gonna go do this stuff and I'm gonna see how many steps I get.
Right.
Well, how many sats can you get in a day?
Right.
And then try to do it the next day and then try to do more when you can't. And then the dollar cost averaging.
Yeah.
That's why it's important too.
It's almost like multiple streams of income.
It really is. I didn't think about that. What do you mean? Give me more on that.
No, I mean, you're breaking it down. You're like, hey, there's many ways to stack sats.
Yeah.
Right. And Bitcoin is like this new currency.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, in my mind, I'm just like, all right, you got your main income, you got your side income, you got your merch income, like just little pieces. But again, over time, you stack these sats, and 10 years from now, what is that going to be?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Because the little gold nuggets, quote unquote, are basically increasing in value as it goes. So these little gold nuggets, you don't necessarily have to have a Bitcoin to get this momentum swing. So let's just say for easy, $1 gets you 3,000 sats. I think that's what it is about.
Around
maybe a little under.
2,800.
Okay, 2,800.
Recently.
Yeah, it's around that, just for easy math. So you get $1, 3,000. So it's not like compound interest in the sense where after a little while that turns into 3,500 sats. It's still 3,000 sats.
Yeah.
But the value of those 3,000 sats, gold nuggets, are now through the roof. Right. So for you guys listening who are beginners or who don't understand stacking sats, it's basically collect your little trinkets because we can't all afford a Bitcoin. And at least when I tried it in 2017, it was a defeating feeling to understand that there was dudes here carrying Bitcoins around and I couldn't get a whole Bitcoin. Stacking sats makes that really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think eventually they're talking about everything in the dollar will be priced in Bitcoin.
That'd be incredible.
So like, you have to then take it to sats and say this is 0.003, 0.0025. Right.
Yeah.
I think $20 is like 0.00025 or something like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
I'm still lost on the official Bitcoin denomination, the 000 stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's just the O off, if that makes sense. Like if you have 3,000 sats, I think the Bitcoin one would just have an extra O in front of it.
Gotcha.
I could be wrong. I don't know. But once again, this is why stacking sats is important.
I think 5 years, 10 years from now, we'll look at stuff online, Amazon, maybe Amazon, but like there'll be certain spots that'll have like USD, and then there'll be Bitcoin. And if something is, I don't know, $20, it'll be what 0.00025. I think they'll kind of be somewhat correlated.
Yeah. Or they'll use sats.
Easy to tell. Yeah, I mean in sats.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, so in sats they could just literally say because there's BTC Pay servers and they basically pay in sats.
Gotcha.
So like if you wanted to donate to this podcast, then you could put like 5,000 sats. Hey, donate. We're gonna let you know where to go. But you could pay in sats, right? Because as we've been saying, imagine trying to sit in front of your computer screen and trying to figure out what 0.0000125. That's tedious.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about hot wallets real quick.
Yeah.
Because the thing about it is people are wondering, okay, you buy this Bitcoin, and we're gonna talk about how we buy Bitcoin.
Yep.
And Ben and I are gonna go through examples on our methods of buying it, so you guys can get on that. But another interesting part about this whole thing is where does it go, right? Some people are thinking it lives inside their app. Some people think it lives inside their phone. Neither one of them are true.
Yeah.
They live inside of a wallet.
Yep.
Hot wallet. Can we get into that?
Yeah, so you can buy Bitcoin from a lot of different places. Places like PayPal, they don't have wallets. You're just buying the equivalent of Bitcoin, so don't buy there.
Stay away from that.
I'd say buy from an exchange.
Yep. What's your favorite one?
What is there? Cash App, Robinhood, Coinbase, Blockfi, Binance, US. And there's a handful of others. Voyager.
There is a bunch out there.
I've been using Coinbase since 2017.
Okay.
It's like one of those like familiarity things.
Yeah.
Like it's just something you're used to. They already got your bank deposits.
Right.
So it's been easy to dollar cost average there.
Yeah.
I'm looking now at places that have Bitcoin with no fees.
Yeah.
I think Voyager, and there's a few other that I'm looking at.
Okay.
But again, if there's a big dip, I'm not gonna wait 3 days to confirm with Voyager.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy it at a fee because Bitcoin is gonna go up 40%, and what is that fee compared to that gain?
By the time we get there, yeah.
So yeah, like I'm still buying on whatever fees, but if I can find no fee Bitcoin, like what's the catch? And I'll probably get in on that.
Yeah.
But those are all exchanges for the most part.
Well, before we go on, I didn't know about Voyager, by the way.
Yeah.
But before we go on, the hot wallet though.
Yeah. So you have money on whichever one of those apps. It lives in your wallet, but it's a hot wallet because it's connected to an exchange.
Right.
So in theory, if someone were to break into that exchange, that Bitcoin could be exposed.
Sure.
And that's a risk you got to be willing to take.
Right. So I think it was John when he was on last week. He explained to his example. To me, a hot wallet is a debit card.
Yeah.
He explained it as money you have in your wallet that you're willing to get stuck up for.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get a hot wallet, guys, whenever you set up one of these apps, right? So you're gonna get when you set up a Cash App, you're gonna get a hot wallet because that's where the Bitcoin actually goes. Yeah. They call it a hot wallet because, like Ben said, it's actually not safe. And it doesn't mean that it's not safe.
It's like your money being in the bank.
Yeah, like it's not just hackers that the problem. The problem is that you're allowing, like, say Cash App were to close down tomorrow and you have a crap load of Bitcoin in there, Bitcoin goes bye-bye. So that's why it's a hot wallet. And later on in the episode, we'll get to cold wallets and your own options and where to go from there. But basically, guys, just to sum up a hot wallet is basically just a debit card or money that you have in your pocket that you're willing to lose in any way. So it's the fact when you buy, you're gonna have to go to a wallet. But then it's up to you guys to move it outside of that wallet so you don't get, stuck up for it in a metaphorical way. Yeah, because it can happen, and it has happened before.
Yeah, exchanges get got.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
And then, like, what's the insurance policy?
They're probably going to tell you you're screwed.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
this is one of those assets.
If I got 10 Bitcoins in a hot wallet and there's a $500 million heist.
Right.
All right, we don't see them often.
Well, I bet you people are wondering, like, oh, well, you guys said that it's, it's a permanent ledger, and they, the ledger will just show that I'm worth that money. Guys, what happens is that when they hack into these places, if it is a hacker, they basically move that money to an address of their destination. Yep. So the ledger now says that it belongs to them, and that's the fear that you guys, are trying to avoid by leaving it on exchange. And like I said, the Cash App shutting down, or Cash App saying, hey, we're about to charge you on what you got, or on a bigger level.
Yeah. The SEC.
Yeah. Them saying, hey, we know you have this much because Cash App makes you KYC, and we want to tax you on that much money because you know how it goes. They always want to find ways around it.
Right.
So move your stuff off a hot wallet.
Yep.
All right, man. So stacking sats.
Yes.
Different fashions you do it.
A dollar cost average. I just set up Binance US because I want to start trading on a small scale. Just small amounts. You know what I mean? Look at the top losers for the day. I keep seeing GRT. I keep seeing DOT. Just altcoins. I want to practice trading with those, maybe with some leverage. And that's one account, dollar cost average account. Then I have another account where I'm just kind of buying big amounts and then I'll send it over. Or like a Blockfi account where you can get interest. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have I like Jan's approach. Like all my stash is not in one pot.
Yeah.
I have 4 pots and like if I die, I'm good because my wife will get it. Like he has a system already set up. I feel like it's really like thoughtful.
Yeah. Very common too. Yeah.
And then he's talking about multi-sig. So I've been thinking a lot about that lately.
Nice.
I know we're gonna set up my cold wallet. So I have the Nano Ledger.
Yep. Yeah. The Nano X.
Yeah. There was that sale. Jose told me about it, and I'm ready to move some coins there.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's important for people may think that we're like wizards and are just doing crazy stuff. You guys got to understand that everybody has their own, purposeful way of handling their money. Everybody has different pots and different methods of doing it. And now, more than ever, there's a lot of different services that are offering, what you typically get in the banking system when it comes to interest and things like that. So I stack sats in a gamified fashion. I do have a dollar cost average strategy that I do tuck away to my cold storage. But for the rest of the week, I'm basically just having fun. Yeah. Right. So if you guys get Cash App, and this is just one example, you can get the Cash App card. And the Cash App card basically allows you to add what they call boost. Now, these boosts give you maybe 3 purchases, and you get 5 to 7% back in sats for that purchase. Yeah, man.
Is it a credit card or debit card?
It's a debit card. Oh, That's the catch. And it has to be funded. Yeah. So and then it renews. So I thought I was gonna lose it after the 3 attempts.
Bro, 7% back.
5 to 7.
Okay.
And I think it's only up to $7.
I'm buying a new TV, bro.
Nah, this is the catch.
75 in here.
This is a catch. I like that.
I do need a monitor for the studio.
I think
something like an LG OLED.
I think it's only up to 750 max though. But
I could break it in a few transactions or something.
Or another one that we're gonna talk about. You could probably Lolli.
See, it sounds like I'm scheming, but like I'm in these credit card groups, and this is what these people do.
No, and that's how you stack your sats.
I mean, they're stacking fiat, right?
Yeah, sure.
But this is what they do. They're life hacking. There are people who are millionaires in credit card points.
Life hacking's dope. That's exactly what it is.
I want to be the stacking sats millionaire. Yeah. Right. So we could make that a group, man.
Yeah. Hey, let's go for it. So back to the Cash App card. And Cash App is great for new intro people. So you get this card, and what I've done is it's tied to my bank. The only way I think this successfully works is because Cash App allows you to immediately withdraw from your bank.
Yeah.
So there's no delay. Right. So you're gonna pay a bill. Mm-hmm. You load up your Boost.
Yep.
You load up the amount of the bill.
Oh, I should do that. Yeah.
You pay with the debit card.
That's smart.
You get sats back.
I'm doing that. Because I be paying like my electric bill.
Yes,
or
sir.
like, certain bills that are kind of big.
Every bill.
Bro.
Every bill.
Good looking out.
Yeah.
About to stack sats now, see?
Yeah, exactly.
7%.
There's so many different
Is it
ways.
monthly? 7%?
What do you mean?
You said you get that boost?
You get the boost. Now, you can't determine when it comes back because it lets you use it up to 3 times before it like leaves. But and historically, it's come back like after 2 days.
So is this what you mean by Cash App makes it fun?
Yes.
Because you've been saying that, and I'm like,
yes.
I just bought Bitcoin on Cash App, right?
Right. So the same logic with Cash App with pulling tip from your bank.
Yeah.
That's the same thing as you were saying earlier. Like when I see a dip happen, like I could just pull from my bank immediately, instantly.
Yeah.
And then with Cash App, go on the Bitcoin exchange and buy Bitcoin from there.
Yeah.
And then unlike PayPal, like you said earlier, and we're gonna talk about Robinhood, but I'm not a fan of Robinhood either because of the PayPal problem.
Yeah.
Unlike them, Cash App actually gives you a hot wallet and allows you to send that to cold storage. On PayPal and on Robinhood, there's no sending.
Because it's not an actual like percentage of a coin.
I've heard it called a Bitcoin IOU.
Yeah.
So it's like they'll just pay you out in USD whenever you're ready to walk away.
It's like going to the casino, like playing. Like when you go to the casino and then you're playing with chips and then you just convert your chips directly to money.
Bingo.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly like that. And it's locked in. And I mean, they're promising to open it up later. And they're promising that they're going to have like a store network. And I'm talking about PayPal specifically.
They probably will. I mean, there's a lot of money that flows through PayPal.
Yeah, so PayPal's good for Bitcoin.
I think they wanted to get in on it early and then see how much traction they have, which they've been having a lot of volume on PayPal.
Yeah.
Which is, giving us more price action, which is great.
Right.
But I think, they want to do it legit, so they're not, super secure. You know what I'm saying? And I know building that infrastructure out, that takes time.
I'm sure, but Cash App is eating their candy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, dude. Yeah, they're late to the game.
Yeah, you got to allow me to send it somewhere. Right. The whole point is for us to own this.
Absolutely.
So technically for Robinhood and for PayPal, you buy their Bitcoin for them.
Yeah.
Basically, because if you never cash out, they own the Bitcoin.
Right.
And then what is it? No keys.
No keys.
No coin.
No coin.
I heard lately
no keys, no cheese.
No key. And that's exactly what it is.
Who's
guys.
that from? Black Zay? Bitcoin Zay?
Bitcoin Zay. Yeah. Good. Shout out to Bitcoin Zay. Yeah,
man, making moves.
But yeah, the culture's getting exposed, man, and that's what I like about the stacking sats. But that's a quick way to stack sats, guys. Check the Cash App out. Is Coinbase doing anything like that? I don't use Coinbase. What?
No, you go straight to a wallet.
Yeah, okay. But with Coinbase, you could buy as little as $1 as well, or is that?
Yeah, I don't know the minimum.
Yeah,
I know you can buy like $10 worth.
Oh man, Cash App is eating everybody's candy.
I've never tried to do it for $1 or $2.
Yeah. I try to use the Acorn strategy with Cash App. Yeah. So it's like literally this morning, no BS. It was like 7:30 in the morning. I had $1.33 in my bank. I pulled it to Cash App immediately and bought $1.33 in sats.
Bro,
I think I got like $5,000 in sats.
Investing in your future.
It's just little bits.
Investing in your kids' future.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's important.
In 10 years from now, when the price is, they're talking 146 price prediction this year.
Yeah,
and I don't mean to talk about money, but like we're at $30,000 now, but 20 years goes by, and if we're sitting at 500 plus, like those 5,000 sats for your kids or whatever, like that's a big deal.
That extra coffee or whatever, like they say. Yeah. But that's why Cash App I think is my favorite experience.
Yeah. And
I want you to talk to the people listening about the fees because you were talking to me about that, and I think you understand that better. Yeah. But that's why I don't mind the small fees in Cash App.
Cash App has small. So
go ahead. Explain that.
I think I did a comparison with Cash App and Coinbase. I think with Coinbase for a $10 purchase, the fee was 99 cents.
Okay.
On Cash App, it's like 30 cents. But then when I did, I think it was $100. Fee on Coinbase wasn't like 0.1%.
Yeah.
Or 10%. So I think on smaller amounts, there's less fees on Cash App. On larger amounts, there's almost equal or more fees on Cash App.
Gotcha.
It depends how much you're buying at a time.
Yeah.
So if you're just buying small amounts, I mean, so are you buying weekly or?
Because of my strategy, I buy daily.
I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah, because guys, it's so easy to stack sats. So you find it, hopefully this podcast sheds some light. But $1.33 this morning, I can't make this up.
I mean, the stats are if you've spent $1 on Bitcoin a day up to this point, you're worth like
a gazillion.
You probably got a whole coin. Just $1 a day. You know what I'm saying? We keep seeing these memes for $2.99 a day. You can support an American, right? Because of what's going on. And it's like, hey, for $1.33, you can support me and Jose every month, right? So just donate. Nah.
Yeah. Or stack your sats. Trade that Dunkin' Donuts coffee here in New England. And stack some sats, man.
For sure.
And Cash App has done that.
I'm so gonna use Cash App on big utility bills.
Dude, I tell you, 98% of even my cold storage, 98% of my stuff is from Cash App because of the flexibility of Cash App. Now, I do want to tell people, and Coinbase does it too, you do have to submit your license to be able to do these features, like to get your hot wallet. But there isn't really many options to buy Bitcoin nowadays without the KYC.
I downloaded a few apps lately, and it was like, license, social, because all the exchanges are set up the same way.
Right. And don't be scared by that. I mean,
it's normal. It's like a credit card.
Right.
Credit line in a sense.
Right. The Treasury needs to know where every single dollar's going.
Or like a bank account. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's that idea. I mean, that's what this is moving towards.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, with the wallet, you're basically your own bank. You're handling your own money, and they want to know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So Cash App is another one. Robinhood. How do you
I don't use it much.
Okay, I'm not a fan of Robinhood.
I use it for stocks. I haven't used it for crypto yet.
Interesting. Okay. And is it successful? You like the app itself?
I think the app's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. So with stocks, with options, I mean, even with Bitcoin, like the charts on Robinhood, they're not good. Pull up like TradingView.com or Bar Chart or the Thinkorswim app. But yeah, I mean, you don't want a chart on there, but you can, see prices, kind of see a trend, but you can't you're probably not going to see trade patterns on there. You're not going to be able to pull up like volume indicators, tools that people use to trade.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's more of like a consumer-based app versus a trading app.
Maybe that's why I like Cash App, because it's like that too. It's simple.
It's simple. It's designed for the regular person who's stacking sats, not the person who's trading.
I can't. I can't read a chart for nothing. Like I see these candles and I see all that, and I'm just like, I can't read that.
I'm starting. So there are when you're looking at a chart, there's all these like a stock will move. Like right now, Bitcoin. I don't know if it's called like the oscillating triangle or whatever, but it's like trending upward. And basically it's like this triangle, and basically it's indicating that there's going to be a big bounce, and we're either going to move quickly towards 50 grand or we're going to retest like 30 grand.
Okay.
And then, I mean, if we retest 30, we're just going to do what we're doing now, trade sideways, gain support. Grayscale just bought a lot of Bitcoin. I think they spent like $800 million. It's
a lot of people coming in
yesterday, and it's just like,
yeah.
So, big price moves. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But yeah, so you won't get that on Robinhood. You can get that elsewhere.
Yeah.
If you want to trade, or even if you just want to know, like, I think to a regular person, like, people are predicting 50 grand as the next stop.
Yep.
So now's a good time to buy more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially when it dips low. Yeah. And guys, you just
we're
need
negative today. You know what I'm saying? I think we're what, 35?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I bought a bunch today just off of.
Did you?
Yeah, just off of literally small purchases like that. But and then you could do, like, people are used to like Rakuren, right? Is that the way you say that? Those are Chrome browser extensions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk about Lolli, right?
I don't know much about it.
Okay, I've used it.
Yeah.
Lolli's great, guys. Lolli works basically like Rakuten, I think. And what's the other one? Honeywell or Honeybee or something like that?
I don't know.
There's another one that they basically.
I know there's one called Brave.
Okay, so it basically just sits on the top of your browser, and when you go into a store.
Oh no, Brave is it's a browser itself.
Itself. I actually heard about that earlier. Decentralized internet. That's big. That's a different topic. Yeah. So basically, Lolli, Lolli, I believe, sits on the top of your Chrome browser, and when you go into a store, it basically gives you cash back, sats back for making purchases.
Gotcha.
So I'll give you the perfect example. These microphones, Guitar Center, loaded up the Lolli app, got 5% back on the microphone.
Dope.
And sats.
Bro.
There's a caveat here, and I think all these services do that. You have to wait the 90 days, like the return period, for you to be able to send it anywhere. So it lives in there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
I got a bonus coming in 90 days. That's cool.
Yeah, pretty much. Check Lolli out, guys. That's another way to stack sats, just doing normal stuff. They have like over 1,000 stores. Bodybuilding.com is there for people that like to work out.
Yeah.
You stack sats that way. So yeah, check out Lolli, guys. I don't think they ask for much. You don't need KYC. Not yet. Maybe to send it, you'll need KYC. But yeah, easy way to stack sats. Any other way? So Coinbase, you got Binance. I don't use Binance. How's Binance?
Binance is cool.
Yeah.
It's aimed more at the trader.
Okay.
So like usually I'm looking at that. I'm looking at top gains, top losses.
Okay.
I think I'm holding some Cardano in there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get like some GRT. Yeah, just some altcoins.
Yeah.
Because I want to trade them. I mean, they're seeing like 20% swings in one day.
Yeah.
You trade that with leverage.
Yeah.
You up 200%, boy.
For sure.
Like
for sure. I gotta get in there.
And then I follow traders too, and I'm in some trading groups, so like it's kind of easy to just take advantage of those bounces. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then once you learn how to do that, you can apply it to stocks or options or whatever.
Yeah. I think it becomes addicting.
It does.
So
I was talking to this dude, my boy Art. He's an editor, videographer as well.
Awesome.
He's super dope, and he's done a lot of work for me. And we were talking about trading. He was like, "Nah, I'm all about it." He's like, "I love the rush." He's like, when the casino's open, like I'm not a stranger.
Yeah.
Even in looking at some stocks, like some dudes were up 8,000% on 8 grand on Tesla options overnight because I think earnings are coming up, and they basically said they were about to be like positive cash flow.
Yeah.
And like you can have this crazy return, but you can also get smoked.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, if you're trading options, practice with really small amounts, or if you're trading Bitcoin. Yeah. Because you can trade Bitcoin with leverage on Binance, so you can trade Bitcoin leverage 10 times leverage.
Okay.
Right. So even
explain that.
So whatever profit, Bitcoin's at 35 grand.
Yeah.
If it bounced to 35,100, your return is minimal. But if you're trading that 10 times that amount because you have leverage, that $200 swing becomes a lot bigger because you're trading with leverage. So that could be like a $500, $1,000 day for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's how people are able to trade profitably on 10% swings, 5% swings.
Interesting.
Because like you're not going to see the Bitcoin 20 to 42 grand every week.
Yeah.
But you're going to see 33.5, then 35.1.
Yeah.
And like if you're trading that with leverage, that becomes a bigger increase on your profits. So
so that's where you would go to the professional apps like Binance, I would say.
Yeah, you would use Binance. I think there's
that's
Prime XBT.
Okay.
There's a few. Coinbase Pro.
Coinbase Pro, yeah.
Which I don't use. I'm still on the regular Coinbase. There's less fees on Pro.
I heard that, and then I tried to do it, and I just didn't understand it. I just couldn't understand. It's me. Gotcha. I guess I just don't understand the investor board. But it definitely is for investors.
Yeah.
Like it's that type of, scheme of things.
Yeah, Binance, there's like 4 different like setup templates.
Okay.
But like they're like super techy.
Okay.
Like it's designed for traders. So like to the average Bitcoin consumer, you can download Binance, you can check it out, you can look at the charts.
Yeah.
But if you want to start, sending your money there, just pull up a YouTube video. I'll probably make a YouTube video on like
definitely
beginner's intro to that, maybe some charting. I keep seeing certain patterns.
Yeah.
On Bitcoin, and I'm like, even with Ethereum, there's been some bear flags and stuff, and then like I see it, and then the next day like the price comes up.
Gotcha.
So that's been cool to just kind of learn, over time. And
when you got more than $1.33 to spread.
and like if you can learn to do that, like you can do that from anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to stack sats in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
At a rental property, or just vacation more. You know what I mean?
That's coming soon with these cards. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. To see with the Cash App one, you definitely need to have it loaded with money.
Yeah.
But it still works in that fashion. Pretty cool. And then what I kind of do for anybody who's listening, who's interested, in case that boost runs out.
Yep.
Well, they have a bunch of other boosts. And like one of my favorite ones is, they have a 10% in the grocery store boost.
Dope.
So what I do is I just go in there with my card loaded, and what that 10% gave me back, I stack sats with.
Perfect.
So it doesn't need to automatically convert it. I just do the conversion on the fly. And that's another way to stack sats.
Smart.
But yeah, Binance and Coinbase Pro are way out of my league.
Yeah. They're a little intriguing. Even for me, I'm no super trader.
Yeah.
But it's like there's a lot going on. Because they have so many pairs of currency, like cryptocurrency,
right?
That there's just like stuff everywhere,
right.
But yeah, no, it's cool.
But the rabbit hole's so deep.
Yeah, and I'm trying to stay away from like I'll trade like the top 20 coins if anything, but there's so many.
Yeah.
Like, and I like I'm 95% Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And then just small percentage of
that's
other
important.
Stuff.
Yeah, to spread it out for sure.
Yeah.
Even though I want to be like pure Bitcoiner,
I mean,
I still see the value in spreading.
There's a lot of people, they call them shit coins. And they're like, yo, why would you ever take away or people are saying like, why would you trade your Bitcoin for those?
Sure.
If
or take money away from your Bitcoin to buy those. That's the argument. I've heard that same argument before. Yeah. But then you schooled me onto a really good point to that argument, which is, well, then just convert it into Bitcoin down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People usually trade up. So they'll, like, I remember buying XLM. I think it was Stellar Lumens on Coinbase.
Yep.
I think in March, April, when the crash happened, it was like 3 cents.
Yep.
And now they're like, 12 times that.
Yeah. Which is great, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that return's crazy.
And then you could take that 12 return and
you just trade up.
Stack some freaking sats.
Ethereum, buy some Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But just, up the chain.
Yeah. I want to get into, now that we talk about Ethereum, I want to get into Blockfi, but before I get into Blockfi, I want to pick your head at something that we're obviously observing and everybody's observing that's really cool. The network, right? Like, I keep hearing, not specifically the culture, right? So I think Bitcoin is a network thing, right? It only grows as big as the network grows, like most other things that are popular and that are big and that are worthwhile. We've seen the culture come in and basically, redefine their language and make it more for the average everyday person. You would argue that Cash App is in behalf of the culture, right? Because they made it so simple and they made it $1 worth and stuff like that. How do you feel about where we're going and these, Meek Mills of the world and these people coming in and what that's going to do for Bitcoin?
Yeah, I mean, Russell Okung had tweeted where he was like, yo, in the future, who's in the playoffs doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What really matters is on Monday and Tuesdays when we're injecting $300 million into the Bitcoin market.
That's booming.
Dog, when LeBron James and Kyrie Irving and KD and all these dudes start getting braggadocious about how much Bitcoin they're buying, what is that going to do with the price?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm looking forward to those days. And I think that's around the corner.
Yeah, I think stacking sats has made it cool, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's no longer get some Bitcoin, it's stack some sats, right?
Well, so once these dudes get in the space, I was kind of thinking about, like, all right, up until this point, it's what, make it rain with your money? So, like, how do you flex your sats now?
Yeah.
Like, how do you be braggadocious like that with sats?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know, but that's what I'm interested in seeing. And then, the culture, music, movies, it kind of has this power, right? This push that is like, once the culture makes it a thing to do, everybody wants to do it. And I think this is a big swing. I mean, I do enjoy the Michael Saylors of the world.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy and I understand the value of these big companies throwing millions and billions into this, but I still don't think that those guys have the effect that the culture can bring to this space.
I think, so when an institution buys, they're swooping up, $1 billion at 35,000.
Yeah.
But once this whole new community of people with, influential people and wealthy people at the top, the entertainers, the sports players, whatever. It's a whole new, like, everyday buyer that's coming to the game. I think, what's brought us from 20 to 40, I think PayPal's adoption had a hand in that.
Sure.
And that's just like the normal, they're just exposing PayPal to their, how many million customers do they have?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, so Cash App is doing the same thing now.
Right.
Trying to get everyone who has Cash App on their phone to buy, sell, trade Bitcoin.
Right.
Because they'll make money, but they're also exposing that to everyone. So they're bringing it to a whole new audience, specifically the culture.
Right.
And
they've been giving them away on Twitter. Like, they have these, like,
I've been seeing that.
This is the funniest story.
Yeah, some girl rapper or something.
Yeah, you're gonna judge me. I dropped my cash in there.
Yeah.
And I was working out later on in the day, and it was like, it was like, you got $15 in Bitcoin from Meg Thee Stallion.
I saw that on Twitter, and I was like, yo, is she paying for that?
No.
But I didn't even think it was a Cash App incentive.
Yeah, it's just something they were doing, but they do it every now and then.
If they did that shit with, like, Beyonce, or like Jay-Z.
Oh, and they're gonna.
What would that do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
Yeah, like example,
crazy marketing.
The Joe Budden podcast. That Cash App is a sponsor there. I don't think it was an accident that they had Pomp, and I don't think that happened because of Cash App.
That's just fire marketing.
Absolutely. And it's injected into the culture, and I think now the everyday average person is super interested in buying Bitcoin, and I think that's really cool. So now let's get into Blockfi.
Yeah.
This is I've had this conversation.
There's Blockfi, and then I think there's a few others that offer interest like them.
Okay. Run down Blockfi for the listeners.
All right. So Blockfi, to me, it's like a bank account, and they're giving you interest rates on pretty much whatever you're putting in there.
Yeah.
So you can buy the USD coin, and you can get 8.6% on that.
That's huge.
Which is basically the equivalent to $1.
Right,
so USDC, it's not like Bitcoin. It's not fluctuating every day.
Right.
Today, it's $1. Tomorrow, it's $1.
Right.
So if you just took the money in your savings account and put it in this Blockfi account, you're going to get 8.6% on your money.
Interesting. And all you're doing is just converting your dollar to a digital dollar.
Correct.
A stable coin is what they call it.
Correct.
Right.
From my understanding, with a bank, you're FDIC insured.
Yeah.
So that gets you up to like $250,000.
Yep.
I don't think you have that guarantee in the crypto space.
Right. So it's a high
you have to understand that.
Yeah.
But interest accounts are becoming more popular in the crypto space. There's
Right.
2 other spots I'm thinking about. I think crypto.com, and then there's another one. With Bitcoin up to 2.5 coins, you're going to get 6%.
Yep.
On Ethereum and Litecoin, you're going to get 5%.
Yep.
But you got to understand, with Coinbase and Cash App, your Bitcoin is in your wallet, your hot wallet.
Mm-hmm.
And when I want to pay you for a service or whatever, I can send you $20 instantly.
Yep.
With BlockFi, it's not in like a hot wallet, right? It's more like in a separate interest account. Cold storage, I don't know where they're storing it. I don't know if they're lending on it, making money on it. I don't know the deal. Yeah, right. Yeah. They're lending it, right? So,
which they're upfront about, by the way. They're not making this the right.
Pull up their white papers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. My boy Joey, shout out to Joey.
Yeah.
He hit me up like, hey, I'm reading through their white papers. They have X amount in cold storage. He's like, I'm not. He's like, I don't have cold. Essentially, I don't have cold feet. I'm good, and he's stacking sats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So you got to understand BlockFi like that. Like if you need access to your money today or even in 24 hours, don't put all of your pot in BlockFi.
Right.
You might want to rethinking putting all of your pot in any, one service.
Yeah.
So just have that in mind. And I mean, like Jan was alluding to, like, you get 6% interest, but if something ever went wrong, is it really worth it? Probably not. Personally, I still have a good amount in BlockFi.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be spreading it out. So that's just where I'm at. I think it's a dope service. I got a lot of people signing up.
Yeah.
I think it's just cool.
Yeah, I like the service. I'm also a BlockFi customer. I've been talking to you about my experience lately or whatever. So I do agree with the savings and that strategy of using it to gain interest and turning your dollar into a stable coin. Mm-hmm. And then I'm even up for getting a little riskier and say you have $1,000 in your savings, making 200 of that Bitcoin so you could catch the upswing whenever it goes up. Mm-hmm. I'm with that. My whole thing is that and as you alluded to, if you need access to your money right away, you shouldn't. It kind of defies the whole point of why you're buying Bitcoin.
Yep. Talk about that.
Yeah. So to me, it's like the really cool features about BlockFi are the high interest, which are phenomenal. But I also like that you can pay out your interest in whatever fashion you want.
Yeah, you can get it in USD.
So
and then you can just replenish your bank account.
Right.
Or you can stack it in Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's how I'm using it. So it's basically an easy way, guys, to have your savings account that you're already doing if you're smart. And basically stack sats at the end of every month doing it that way. That's really cool. I recently tried to remove, it was a smaller amount, but I tried to remove some there because my strategy is to scrape off the top. Yeah. So when it gets to a certain point, that bucket gets full, I scrape Bitcoin into my hardware, cold storage, just to mitigate the risk, right, of losing it all, right? But even that process with BlockFi took 7 days.
Yeah.
A full week.
Yeah.
And they didn't charge me the fee.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of like boilerplate.
There's verbiage in the terms. Because I got the same email and it was like, well, technically we can charge you up to X amount of Bitcoin as a fee in correlation with the interest that you've gained.
Yeah.
So I got to see what that looks like. What does that look like?
What? They didn't charge me the fee.
Okay.
Yeah. Thankfully, maybe it's because it was only a small amount. Maybe if it's a bigger amount.
You think if it's a whole coin, what do you think?
Oh, for sure. They're going to try to get off of that. Because in theory, if they don't own that coin, which I'm not saying they don't, I don't know what happens behind the wall.
Yeah.
But if they don't own that coin, they would have to go get that coin and then find a way to get it to you.
I think they got enough in cold storage to just...
See, but I think they have a lot of USD in cold storage. And they work around that by basically on the fly.
Like collateral?
Yeah, switching it, right? So if they know that you're worth $500 and the algorithm says you have Ethereum, then it just mathematically converts that.
I'm gonna.
I don't know. This is all theory.
Yeah, when we do my cold storage setup, we'll figure that out, and then we'll just follow up on the next episode.
Yeah,
like this was the fees on moving one coin.
Okay. All right. So BlockFi guys, we could do that for sure. That'll be very interesting to see what happens. Yeah. So BlockFi guys, at least for my strategy, I'm not as risky as Ben or most investors. But I basically...
I'm extra risky.
Yeah. And,
all in.
Hey, listen, I like your scared money, don't make money. Right. The last time...
If I lose it, like, all right, I figured out.
Yeah, right. And the last time I heard scared money, don't make money was literally playing dice. So it's
I think...
It's the right way to go.
I think people, like, I don't know, when people risk a lot...
Yeah.
Or who was heavily invested in like the .com boom. You know what I mean? Like people become millionaires, become billionaires.
And by nature, investment is risk.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
we talked about this on the other episode where it's like there's inflation and the government's still printing. I think that's why I'm on that like Russell Okung, like I'm out of fiat.
Yep. Same here.
I'm in Satoshis, like
everything extra. Guys, we're not telling you to not pay your rent.
This is not financial advice.
Yeah. Listen,
do not use your mortgage money on this.
The concept is to do your research until the point where you understand what it is you're spending your money on. And once you get that, you're gonna get to the point where when you go down the rabbit hole, you're gonna figure out that you should pay your daily expenses, monthly expenses, and all that. But everything else should probably most likely go into Bitcoin. Is the strategy that me and my wife are going with, and everybody has their own road or whatever. But
Russell Okung getting half of his salary.
Yeah.
In Bitcoin.
You want to store your wealth, right? Rich people do it in paintings. We talked about that too. Yeah, it's very important. So tread lightly on BlockFi. Yep. Awesome service. They got a new card coming out where you can stack sats.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
2% back.
But I like what you said when it was basically know that you probably won't get your money as fast as you think you can get to it.
Yeah.
And that's a risk that you would have to take. But if it's a savings account and your savings account is sitting in, say, Capital One, and Capital One is giving you 0.25% on your money, you may want to just make this simple and think about it
just open a BlockFi account with like $500 or something. Just like a small amount, and then just try it out.
Yeah, but so it doesn't confuse anybody. Once again, you're getting the dollar and just turning it into a digital dollar, and they hold the dollar.
Yes.
So the example would be is back in the gold standard, you're giving your gold bar, and they're giving you dollar bills to represent a certificate that says that you have that gold bar.
Right.
That's basically what it is.
Idea.
Yeah. So move on BlockFi with your own risk, but BlockFi is a lending platform. It's an interest-bearing platform. It's not necessarily the Cash Apps. It's not that quick, fast movement.
It's not that wallet.
Yeah, no. But interest is huge, of course. Anybody who knows anything about interest. Once again, 0.25, I think Capital One was.
This dude had $1 million in interest.
That's insane.
Because he's a whale and he got a ton of coins.
Right, and that's just free money. That's just, you could just live off interest.
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah. So 8% compared to your 0.25%, and I'm picking on Capital One because I have personal experience with Capital One.
Short the banks.
Absolutely.
Short the banks.
I think when COVID started, they said 0.25. It used to be 1, which is still terrible. So think about BlockFi for that. Yeah, no, I'm with you. As you guys go down the rabbit hole, you're gonna see that that fiat thing is it's quite the game.
It's the biggest Ponzi scheme ever.
I agree. I didn't know that till I went down the rabbit hole, but
The Bitcoin standard kind of hammers that home. Like, this is the biggest Ponzi scheme, second to what, Social Security.
Like number one.
All these schemes, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
And once you see that and you understand inflation, like it becomes super clear.
Yeah, and it brings a whole new definition to the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Because I've heard that my whole life, and I was like, only if you allow it. But it's like, nah, it's actually rigged against you for you to stay poor if you don't make something happen, or if you don't just, I don't know. Most people don't get out of it.
There's a reason why books were kept from certain people.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like now we got the internet. You can learn anything.
You can learn anything. Yeah.
Listening to the individual sovereign. Yeah. The sovereign individual, and they're kind of alluding to that. Like this technology age has taken back all of the disadvantages from the kid in the Philippines compared to the kid in Boston. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
Decentralization kind of opens that up.
Right.
Case in point, I get emails from editors every week like, "Hey, New England Wedding Film, what's up? You need an editor?" And like, you could become wealthy.
Yeah, absolutely. If you know where to
look. You know what I'm saying? But you live here or wherever, and you can get paid in sats.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? That's the movement forward, bro.
There are people in the Philippines and in other places where like they don't have a bank account.
Right.
But they have Bitcoin.
They have Bitcoin, right? And they're getting it if they don't have it. But yeah, that's the thing. It's solving a global problem, right? We like to be America oriented, right? We like to be local based. And we could talk all this stuff about, pull up your Cash App and spend $1.33. Right. A lot of people don't have that access. A lot of people can't even KYC. They don't even have a license. They don't even have a bank in most of these places. So Bitcoin is definitely, and so you guys understand the value that's happening here with Bitcoin. It's actually solving a problem. This isn't theoretical.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what's so cool about it.
Yeah.
Is that like you can, the more I listen to Bitcoin Standard, you can just move literally across the world with a stroke of your phone. You know what I mean? Like, and then you add on Jack Mallers and Strike sitting on top of the Bitcoin network where they're like transmitting your check second by second.
Yeah,
like
insane.
That's nuts.
There's a lot of stuff happening. Yeah, I actually had my first experience with Strike.
Yeah.
It was a good experience. So
Dope.
I had some Lightning sats that were sitting in my node.
Yep.
And the Lightning sats sit on a different layer of Bitcoin.
Can you break that down?
What?
Like how the Lightning node basically makes you your own bank?
Yeah, so
essentially, people don't understand that.
Yeah, so if you set up your own node, you're basically, connected to the Bitcoin network at all times. So you on a hard drive, you'll have the whole exchange, and you can basically do a bunch of services on top of this with your node. So you can have different types of wallets, and you can do Lightning wallets as well.
Yep.
And Lightning sats are different than Bitcoin sats because they sit on the top layer, so they don't get confirmed until you either close out a channel or and I'm not a professional on this, but I think that's how it works. So having your own node makes you a bank because you're behind your own paywall.
Mm-hmm.
If you have it set up with Tor, your identity is being discreet and being kept, right? And you could do this with your node. And basically, at the end of the day, all transactions are handled by you, for you, and protected by you. So you become the bank. You're not trusting anybody. You're not trusting Cash App. You're not trusting anybody in the middle. You are the person that hosts it all.
Right.
So with Strike, I was having a hard time getting, because I'm still learning about Lightning. So I was having a hard time getting, I think it was 50,000 sats out of my node. Right. And they were sitting there from like the very beginning when I was experimenting. And I wanted to put them in cold storage.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't find a way to do it because the fees were too high. And the fees were high because in order to get it off the Lightning layer, you got to pay a fee to get it on the block so you can get your sats back.
Yep.
So let's just say it was $50.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of services like hot wallets like Breeze that were basically charging me half of that. They were saying, yo, if you want $50, we're going to take 25, you get 25 back.
Right.
With Jack Mallers app Strike, I basically pulled up a Lightning QR code.
Mm-hmm.
I said, hey, I want these sats to go to Strike. Strike showed it as USD dollars, and then I was able to send it to my bank with no fees whatsoever.
Lit.
Shout out to Jack Mallers. Yeah, and that's what the Lightning Network can do. Yeah.
That's dope.
Awesome stuff. So Strike is another app, guys. You can't stack sats yet, but that's what Michael Okung is using to get paid halfway through.
Via the NFL?
Yeah.
I think there's a soccer player who just joined in on that.
Bro,
when all these rich athletes start doing it and become braggadocious, like that's gonna be $100 grand a coin,
right? But that's also why it's important to stop worrying about getting a whole coin and stack sats because there's only so much of these things out there, guys. And if these millionaires are gonna start swooping in and making it cool and doing all that,
I had the same conversation with my wife and my son, and I explained it to them, and I think I thought I had said there's only gonna be 21 million coins.
Yeah.
I think they understood it as there's only going to be $21 million worth.
Okay.
And I'm like, and all these athletes are starting to get in.
Yeah.
And in their mind, they're like, yo, then how can we stack sats?
Yeah, tomorrow it's over.
If the game's over next week, right?
Yeah.
So I cleared that up.
Yeah. And the coins won't be fully distributed or mined until a certain time. So don't worry, guys. Like they're not all 21 million out there.
Right.
Every year or so.
There's 19 million.
Yeah, being printed every so. I don't know what the rate is often.
Being mined.
There's like 900 a year or something like that. I could be way off on that, by the way.
Yeah.
But they're not all out there yet, so you still can stack the sats.
They're being mined daily.
Right, but if these athletes or whatever, I don't want to just single out athletes.
No, when these big institutions get in.
Absolutely, yeah.
When J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs say, you know what, 35 grand, okay, let's buy $1 billion worth.
Right.
Dude, Grayscale raised I don't know. I think it was $800 million in like 2 days or something. Some really short amount of time.
Right.
I think it was their largest collection that they've raised.
Right.
In like the shortest amount of time.
Oh wow.
Because investors want in on this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
More exposed.
Bitcoin did what? 100% in 3 weeks.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like these people with big pockets are understanding that Bitcoin is
that'll wake people up,
not going anywhere, and they want in on it, and their pockets are huge.
The sleeping giants are awake.
Yeah, just the culmination of everyday people getting it,
yeah,
and then big institutions, and then really wealthy athletes and entertainers.
Yeah,
like that's what gets us to the next level.
And that's why $1.33 doesn't seem so weird. It doesn't seem so weird, guys. You get in because this is the thing.
Treat it like a bill.
Yeah, or treat it like a little gold nugget. Because what I'm saying is, even if you don't own the whole Bitcoin, as soon as these institutions start sucking it up, you are worth more with the little golden nuggets. Let's use that analogy again.
Yeah,
you are worth more with these little gold nuggets. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I keep telling people. It's
absolutely
like the whole facade of like you have to buy big into this.
Nah,
man. And then people get nervous and they fear of missing out, and they start to like do crazy moves.
Treat it like a bill. $100 a month. $50 a month.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Just get in.
Start there.
Right.
And if you have a good experience, do more.
Do more. Right.
And if you have, if there's anything else you can cut out, right? Refinance your mortgage. Oh, you got an extra $100.
Yeah.
I'd probably put that in Bitcoin.
Absolutely put that
personally.
in Bitcoin. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. And for the people that are waiting to actually understand it, understand that it's a very complex thing. Or it can be a very complex thing. So if you're still learning, I still say put money in while you learn it.
Absolutely. Small amount.
Yeah, so you don't waste this opportunity. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the day, if you say it's not for you, you can liquidate it.
Yeah, you can cash out at any point.
Yeah.
Right? So unless you're in Blockfi or an interest-based service, you're in a hot wallet and you can convert right back to cash.
Right, and that's big. So get in while you can.
And I think investing into it now, even if you don't fully understand it, I think that kind of forces you to learn about it. Forces you to, listen or read a book about it so you can understand it more. Kind of gives you skin in the game.
Yeah. And there's a little overlay there, too, because you learn about a lot of different concepts. Like I didn't know more about the economic system of the fiat system more. I've learned more in the last 8 months about that whole system than I have my whole life.
Absolutely.
So it takes you down a rabbit hole of learning a lot of different things and why it's important and why we're asleep at the wheel for the majority of life. And it has those overlay benefits.
When people understand that the Federal Reserve has been screwing the average person forever.
Right.
And it's only going to get worse. Like when you see that writing on the wall and you actually understand it.
Yeah.
It's like.
It makes the move easier.
It becomes clear. It's like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
My money is depreciating.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Kids' haircuts are like $20, man.
It's insane.
What?
Yeah.
Getting my boys fades 20, 25? Like, I'll give you 25 because I want to be nice and I appreciate your time. Like, shout out to my boy Al. He's been my barber for over 10 years.
Yeah.
But, like, kids, they're basically adult haircuts, right? Because they're skin type fades or whatever.
Right.
But still, like, what were our haircuts when we were kids?
Like $10, $8,
$12?
Yeah, fair.
All right.
So it's going up.
Around there. So, like, that's $8 over how many years?
Yeah, right.
So
it's rigged against you. Yeah, because I mean, you're gonna keep your job for the most part, a long time. You're gonna get your 50-cent raises. You're gonna get your 25 raises, but haircut went up, Netflix went up,
assets way up.
Yep. Right.
Houses way up.
Yep.
Cars way up.
Gas, everything, you name it. So I mean, the 50 cents that you make in a year, you're basically losing. You're living in the negative, and then you're working harder to try to make that up. And it's the killer of everything, guys. It's the killer of morale. It's the killer of most people's dreams. It's the killer of a lot of things. And if you guys get deeper in the rabbit hole, all this stuff will make sense to you and why, we're committed to bringing you guys this information, which is fantastic. So hot wallets we talked about.
Yep.
Cold wallets.
Cold wallets.
Cold wallets, for me,
or
what they are is basically a wallet that belongs to you. So you have your own vault key. If we want to use the private keys, that's your vault key, and you store it.
And that's how many words?
24 typically, but I have seen 12. I have seen different variations of it.
Right.
There's different standards for it, but it's usually 24 words. This is your key, guys, and you can unlock your vault from any other device. This is something that I really wanted to say in this episode. The misleading thing when people start learning about hardware wallets is this. They think that their Bitcoin lives inside of this device.
Yeah.
Your Bitcoin does not live inside of this device, guys. All the device is a private seed, vault key generator, and an address generator. So when you start sending, funds there, it generates an address. So you can lose this device. It can get burned, it can get stolen, it can get whatever. What you can't lose is the vault key.
Now, these devices look like a USB flash drive.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're a little bigger with like a little screen or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a cool one that I'm looking at from Blockchain, I believe, called the Jade.
Yeah.
And it actually has a camera attached to it. I think Cobalt Vault is doing this too.
Cool.
And the benefit of a camera is that it's still gapless, meaning it never has to connect to a computer, and you can scan QR codes. Which is very convenient. Obviously, a QR code is the easiest way to get a.
So if I wanted to pay you directly from my cold wallet, you could pull up your QR code on your phone.
Correct.
I could use that device to scan that, and I could send money to you from the device.
Yes, sir. You would have to. I don't know how the fees work out on a gapless device because when you send to yourself, that's another thing. Cash App usually eats fees, and a lot of these services eats the fee, like they don't make you pay for it.
Yeah.
But when you're sending money from your own storage, you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
And we could do a whole nother episode on how you work out your fee, but it basically depends how busy the blockchain is at the moment.
Gotcha.
Right? So, but yes, you'll be able to do that. And before you get to the camera part where you scan my code, you would have already put in your PIN, which lets the device know your keys are good. You're given the okay to take out of your vault.
Gotcha.
But there's a lot of devices that do that. There's some devices like Cold Card that literally looks like a calculator.
Yeah.
And is very minimal.
Calculator.
Yeah, it's very minimal. I had a buddy of mine tell me that they were trying to actually do a calculator that actually worked this one, and then masquerade it as a security device underneath it. But I think they thought over time that would just be complicated, and they scrapped the whole calculator idea. So basically, if somebody finds it, they're just like, oh, this is just a calculator, and they'll toss it. But I don't know. A buddy told me that. There are so many
wallets with just Bitcoin that can't be accessed.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's nuts.
So Cold Card is really cool. But basically, guys, a cold wallet, and not to go, we'll do a different episode on this, is basically the opposite of a hot wallet, of course, meaning that it's not the money you have in your pocket. This is stored. This is in the backyard. This is in the vault, whatever analogy you want to use. As long as you have your 24 words, this money will forever be safe. 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, no matter what device it is.
Just get it tattooed on me.
Yeah, I had I think it was my mom. I was trying to talk to her to it, and she was like, put the 24 words, and I was like, bad idea.
Yeah.
And I gave her a soft example, like, well, what if you're like, I don't know, what if you fall asleep next to someone and they, know or whatever. She was like, well, why don't you get like a whole verse and like put the words in the verse somewhere or whatever? And I'm like, like a Mad Libs, I guess. And I was like, yeah, that's possible, but
that's funny.
How you store your vault key is up to you. There's a lot of different ways to do it.
Yeah.
But you hear the stories of the guy who locked himself out.
Yep.
This is important.
200 million.
This is important. You have to keep these 24 words.
200 million.
But you can go cross-device too. You could start with a ledger.
Yep.
And then you lose the ledger or not use the ledger, and then recover on a cold card with those 24 words.
Copy.
Because the Bitcoin doesn't live on the device. It lives on the server, right? Like on the network.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guys, we'll do another episode on cold wallets. That was just a little bit there, whatever.
Yeah, brief intro.
Yeah, but that's the way to go, guys. The whole point of Bitcoin is if you're not investing it like interest-wise and you're not trying to lean against it, you want to put it away in the vault. You want to be able to own this. If you don't own the keys, you don't own the coin. When you hear that, guys,
own the cheese.
You don't own. Yeah, if you don't own the keys, you don't own the cheese. And what basically means, guys, is if you put it in cold storage, you dig it in the backyard. If you don't put it in cold storage, you're trusting the bank with it.
Right.
That's the best analogy.
Yeah. Good breakdown.
Yeah, cool, man.
Right. So start dollar cost averaging.
Yeah.
Or get into BlockFi with the USD just to get 8%.
Yep.
And then once you're done doing that, figure out how you can stack sats on cashback.
Yep.
Right.
Different ways. A lot of different. And a bunch we missed today, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. There's way more.
Yeah. New cards are coming out. New companies are coming out. It's going to become easier than ever. But if that's not a reason for somebody to see that this is taking off, that all these companies are even bothering with giving these type of things, eventually that 3% sats back is going to turn into 0.5%. Yeah. As it gets, saturated.
Right.
So, guys, it's an early time to stack in. $1.33 will get you, I think, about 5,000, 6,000 sats.
Hey.
If the sat eventually lines up with the US dollar, think about it. I just paid $1.33 for $6,000. Because if I got 6,000 sats and it eventually evaluates to $1, I have 6,000 sats somewhere down the road for $1.33.
Crazy.
You can't beat that.
Right. How long does that take in the stock market?
If you ever live to see it.
Right.
I guess, yeah. But, anything else for this episode?
No, man, that's good.
Yeah, man, we're covering it good. Guys.
Yeah, we want to create an episode that just breaks down, like, how do you start with Bitcoin?
Yeah.
What's your next strategy? What is BlockFi? Just basic.
Right.
In the next episodes, we'll get into cold storage.
Yeah.
And how that works out.
Yeah, we'll get deeper. Guys, it's easier now than ever. We just named a bunch of ways that you can go and do it for as little as $1. There's no reason for you guys not to be able to afford $1. I hate to use the typical finance line, which is like, hey, just skip the cup of coffee. But damn it, if you have to skip the cup of coffee.
Get a raise or skip the coffee.
Yeah, or find different ways to do
hustle.
it. Yeah. Oh, the biggest reason, the biggest way to stack sats.
Yeah.
Get paid in sats. Do something valuable for somebody and let them pay you in sats.
Facts.
Yeah, or convert it if you have to convert it. But there's a lot of services that are doing great things out there. Guys, if you enjoyed any of this information, please rate, share, and subscribe. Subscribe button is somewhere down here in the YouTube video. We hope to provide you guys this information weekly. If you got any questions, you'll know where to find us. I appreciate you guys as always.
That's all. Stack sats.
Stack sats, guys. Take care.